Hey everyone, in this explainer, we're going to tackle one of the biggest questions out there. What does it actually mean to be a Muslim in today's world?
Welcome to the Yani D channel. My name is Yani D and I'll be your host. Okay, let's just jump right in.
Our tagline here is pretty simple. Learning Islam is cool. And honestly, we really, truly believe that. When you get down to the heart of it, it's one of the most exciting and fulfilling journeys you can ever take. So let me ask you this. Have you ever felt kinda stuck between two worlds? Caught between your faith and all the demands of modern life? If you've ever felt that tension, like you're trying to balance your identity as a Muslim with, well, everything else the world is throwing at you, then this one's for you. And trust me, you are definitely not alone. All right, so let's dive into our first section, the modern Muslim struggle. We have to start by just admitting that this feeling, it's not just in your head. It is real, it's complex, and it's something so many of us are dealing with every single day. This quote from the Yukeen Institute is so important because it shows that this isn't just a personal feeling, it's a documented social reality. It points to this bigger cultural storm that we're all navigating, which makes finding stability in our faith and our relationships feel, well, way more urgent. Part of the challenge, right, is this gap between the past and the present. The wisdom from our parents and grandparents is precious, for sure, but the world we're living in has changed so drastically that their roadmaps don't always match the terrain we're driving on today. And this confusion, it's coming from everywhere, isn't it? We see these perfectly curated lives online with their hashtag relationship goals that create totally unrealistic expectations. We're juggling demanding careers while trying to build families, often without that village of support our grandparents had. And we're constantly trying to figure out what's actually from our religion versus what's just culture. It's a lot to handle. So how do we even begin to sort through all that confusion? We go back to the beginning. We start with our foundation. And that brings us to section 2, you have got to start with your why. And this just perfectly illustrates that starting point. The very first word revealed to our prophet, peace be upon him, was iqra, read. Think about that. It wasn't obey blindly. It was read, seek knowledge, understand. That sets the entire tone for our faith. It's a call to be an active, informed participant in our own spiritual journey. So, here's the crucial point. Your faith shouldn't just be something you inherit. It has to be something you consciously choose and understand for yourself. This is about conviction, not just tradition. And this journey of understanding, it leads to what the Quran calls taqwa. Now, this is so much more than just fear. It's a constant, loving awareness of God that guides your choices. It's like a compass for your heart, It's what helps you navigate right from wrong when no one else is watching. Okay, so how do we actually build this foundation of taqwa in a practical way? Well, this breaks it down into 3 key steps. First, we have to actively seek knowledge about our deen. Second, we dig deeper to understand the context, the why behind the rules. And third, and this is so important, we find a supportive community, friends who will lift us up on this path. Now, with that foundation in place, we can move into section 3 and start looking at relationships and marriage in a completely new light. It stops being about a simple list of do's and don'ts and becomes something so much deeper. This brings us to a really important distinction. See, Islam gives us 2 layers to work with. On one hand, you've got hukum, the law, which outlines the basic rights and duties. That's the what. But on the other hand, you have akhlaq, the ethics, and that's the how. This is the prophetic standard of excellence, ihsan, that's built on kindness and mercy. A truly strong marriage needs both, the legal roots and the beautiful flower of good character. And the Quran gives us this absolutely beautiful framework. It doesn't say master and subordinate. It says allies. What does an ally do? They support, protect, and help each other grow. This completely redefines the purpose of marriage into a powerful partnership. The Quran also tells us to treat one another with ma'ruf. This is such a brilliant concept. It basically means what is commonly recognized as good and respectful in your specific time and place. It shows that Islam is flexible and sensitive to culture, not rigid and stuck in one historical moment. And that's really the bottom line, isn't it? When you approach marriage with this foundation of understanding, good character, and partnership, it completely transforms. It's no longer just a social contract. It becomes a deep, continuous act of worship, or ibadah. And this all leads us to our final section, building a legacy together. Because this partnership, This act of worship isn't just about the two of you. It's about creating something beautiful that lasts and contributes to the world. The Prophet, peace be upon him, elevated the ordinary to the spiritual. This hadith shows that even the simple act of providing for your family is considered the highest form of charity, earning you an immense reward from God.
So what does that legacy actually look like? Well, it's a home filled with peace, or sakina. It's raising kids who are secure and proud of their identity. It's creating a family that contributes positively to society. Ultimately, it's building an alliance that earns God's pleasure. And that right there is the incredible potential. When a marriage is built on personal faith, mutual respect, and a shared purpose, it becomes more than just a relationship. It becomes a living sign, an ayah of God's mercy and wisdom for the whole world to see. And that's a wrap for this explainer. But now I really want to hear from you. What do you think is the single biggest challenge facing young Muslims who are trying to build these kinds of relationships and legacies today? Let's get a conversation going in the comments below. And hey, if this resonated with you, please make sure to subscribe and maybe share it with someone who might need to hear it. Thanks so much for joining me, and I can't wait to see you in the next one.